Good evening, October 21st, 2021. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So like I said yesterday, it was possible that this was the end of our wave 5, and with the breakdown of this channel here, this breakdown right here, I'm going to go ahead and assume that we have in fact topped in that fifth wave. Again, assuming that that is the scenario playing out. So remember, I've got a couple different scenarios that are still possible, but this was my primary one here. So this is the one I'm going to keep tracking until proven otherwise. So I believe now that we have reached the top of that wave 5, and we should now be making an ABC down, which should look something like this. Somewhere, somewhere in here basically. And if we zoom back out here, my green fib is started from the bottom here up to the very top, and we're looking for this wave pullback, this second wave pullback. Looks like ideally anywhere between 54.8 and potentially down as far as 47.6, somewhere in this green box here would be the area to hold. And that kind of coincides with our larger time frame fibs here, fib extensions here, the 0.5 being at 53.6 and the 382 being at 49.9. So somewhere, if we could hold somewhere in that region, that tighter region there, rather than going all the way down, that would probably be ideal, especially kind of holding maybe this top zone. But what I want to do is try to track this pullback as best I can. And I'm going to get rid of this red box because that was for an ABC that never developed. So our ABC happened right here. As I said, it may have last night. So there's the ABC, in case you're interested. ABC in that 5. All right, so now we should be looking for an A wave down from these highs. And we should see probably 5 waves within that. And let's zoom in here real close. So here, coming down off the high, is pretty obvious 1 and 2. So we drew a fib extension there in red. And then 3, you can see actually hit this 1618 extension almost on the dot there. So that looks really nice for a third wave. This wave 4 should be developing now. It's possible that it actually already got struck with that wick up there, or with this wick up here. So we're sort of consolidating here in a fourth wave. Maybe it actually comes up into that zone again. That's unclear right now. But basically, as long as we remain below this red box, the pressure in the short term remains downwards. And especially as long as we remain below this 618, which is 64.8K. So anything below 64.8K, I expect downward continuation in the short term. Now, once this has completed, let me turn the wave on there. So once this is completed, however this is going to play, this will be 5 waves down within A. We should then get a 3 wave up in B. And so what we'll need to do then is draw a fib from the top down to the bottom, wherever 5 completes. And this is, for now, this is just conjecture. But for the B wave, typically it goes about the 0.5, but anywhere between the 382 and the 618 could happen. I mean, the B wave could come even higher. I mean, sometimes you even get expanded flats where the B wave goes up really high. That's certainly possible too. But the most normal scenario would be for this B wave to come up somewhere in this region again, maybe testing that 64K range once more after we hit this region here. So we should see, in any case, 3 waves up. And once the A and the B are in place, then you can get a semi-decent target for the C of B. And then once all of that is in place, then we can look for the C wave target, which, depending on how A ends up finishing and how B ends up finishing, if this even does, if this does do this, then we'll draw another fib extension from the A to the B, and then we'll have another target zone further down for the C wave. Let me make this a different color so I can see it. So once that A is in place and that B is in place, then we'll draw a box for the C wave, basically anywhere between the 618 and the 1236. And that should play out as 5 waves down within that C wave as well. So based on this, it looks like maybe we get to probably somewhere between, well, let's see how this plays out before I target a specific zone. But if this were to play out exactly like that, then we actually would be looking a little bit higher than this green zone here. So we may end up trying to grab some longs around 57 or just south of 60, depending on how this plays. All right, so that pretty much sums it up with all the multiple different things that we can look at here. So we're really just waiting to see how this A completes and the B completes, and then we'll go from there for where the target is for C. But in the meantime, this zone, based on that fib retracement, this zone here is the ideal zone. But like I said, we might be looking a little bit higher than that, based on where A and B go. So, all right, I think that pretty much sums it up. But we are looking at, I believe, the retrace here that I've been wanting. I think we may finally be getting it here. So fingers crossed that we do. And if it continues upwards in one manner or another, then I'll have to revise this and change how I'm looking at this to one of the other scenarios that I've mentioned before. All right, I think that pretty much sums it up for tonight. So I will see you guys in the morning. Good night.